Hi, fourth grade. Welcome to Tuesday Math. Today we're going to be talking about metric units of capacity. Now, capacity is the amount of liquid a container can hold. That's its capacity. So in the metric system, we have two units of capacity, the liter and the milliliter. Now, I want you to take a look at these. A bottle this size can hold a liter. A milliliter, which actually is 1,000th of a liter, would be like this little eyedropper. Now I thought the book's pictures weren't that great, so I have my own I want to show you. Here is my delicious bottle of seltzer water. That is 1 liter. Now many of you are familiar with a 2-liter bottle of soda, so you just have to picture half of that when we talk about liters. This is 1 liter. If you look really, really close, it says it's 1.05 quarts. So that means that a liter is almost the same size as a quart. Now here is a milliliter. This is a little eyedropper. And if you look at it, I'm going to put it down so you can see it. This line is a milliliter. So if you filled this up, that would be a milliliter. So as we're doing our math today, you need to picture, if they say what's the best estimate, are we talking about a bottle or an eyedropper? So let's take a look. You should be on page 781. Decide whether 300 milliliters or 300 liters is the more reasonable estimate for the capacity of the mug. Now, let's just say that's my coffee mug, which you've seen every day. It says use logic to estimate the capacity. Well, would it be 300 eyedroppers or 300 bottles? 300 eyedroppers, that would be milliliters. 300 bottles, that would be liters. Well, it would be 300 eyedroppers. If it was 300 bottles, that would be way, way, way too much for that coffee cup. So 300 milliliters is the more reasonable estimate. And I forgot to say this. The abbreviation for liter is a capital L. The abbreviation for milliliter is small m, capital L. All right, let's turn the page. Go over to page 782 now. It says here, decide whether 600 milliliters or 600 liters is the more reasonable estimate for the capacity of the swimming pool. So, little pool, we're looking forward to better days of summer. Would it take 600 eyedroppers or 600 bottles to fill this swimming pool? Well, the pool is a large object, so 600 milliliters is too small. So you would write that 600 liters is the most reasonable estimate. So let's take a look at this. Circle the more reasonable estimate for each capacity. Here's a bottle, like many of us have for water bottles. Many of you bring one like this. Would that be 1 milliliter or 1 liter? Well, once again, are we talking 1 eyedropper or 1 bottle? Well, it's a bottle, so 1 milliliter would be the better estimate. Now take a look at this. Here's your kitchen sink, right? So if you have your sink here, would it take 38 milliliters or 38 liters to fill it? 38 eyedroppers, 38 bottles. Well, 38 eyedroppers wouldn't be anywhere near enough. So it would be 38 liters. Now that seems like kind of a lot of water for this one sink, but still we're making the best estimate. So this is not what you would want. All right, look at this. I can't tell, is that sanitizer or lotion or soap? Well, we're using a lot of all those things. Would that be 220 milliliters or 220 liters? Well, once again, 220 eyedroppers or 220 bottles? Well, this is actually smaller than the bottle, so 220 milliliters would make more sense. So now, you are going to do page 783. It's more questions like what we did. So once again, you're asking yourself, is it a bottle or is it an eyedropper? Down here, it says, select 3 containers, that would be in your house. Decide whether each container has a capacity that is greater than, less than, or equal to 1 liter. Complete the table. So, for instance, I have a cup here, all right? You see that? Well, I know that that's less than 1 liter. So I would write cup, and I would write less than 1 liter. So I want you to do that. We're going to turn the page now. We're going over to 784. I want to do 2 problems on this page. It says, Jenna said that she took 4 milliliters of medicine when she was sick. Is this a reasonable statement? Explain. Now think for a minute. 4 milliliters of medicine. Does it make sense that she would have taken the equivalent of 4 of these eyedroppers? Well, what do you think? If you said yes, you are correct. It's a reasonable statement because that's about how much medicine a person your age would need to take. Here's another one. Jonah said he drank 3 liters of water after his soccer game. Is this a reasonable statement? And explain, all right? So picture, you're done with your soccer game. Are you going to drink 3 of these? What do you think? Maybe 3 glasses of water, but 3 bottles of water all at once? What do you think? Probably not. It's not, because that's just too much water. All right, now I want you to do this. You're going to write this down as soon as we're done with the video. Think of 3 objects in your house that can hold more than 1 liter and list them. So for instance, I'm thinking that my sink holds more. You find some things in your house that hold more than 1 liter. All right, you are going to do page 785, page 786, and you're going to submit those on Class Dojo. Now, the other thing you're doing today is rounding. Rounding numbers. Now, most of you remember this, but just a quick review. Rounding, if it's 5 or more, you go up. If it's 4 or less, you let it rest. So here, if I say round this number to the nearest hundreds, 441. Well, here's the hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. You are going to circle the hundreds. Underline the number to the right. This is the number. Is it 5 or more? Then you go up. If it's 4 or less, let it rest. Well, this is 4 or less. You let it rest. So it's 400. Remember, we let the circled number rest. If it was 461, well, you circle the hundreds, you underline the number to the right, you ask yourself, is it 5 or more? The answer is yes. So you go back to this number and you make it more, make it a 5, zeros after it for each place value, it's 500. If you have an extra number here, it doesn't matter. You're still going to round to the nearest hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds. You circle the hundreds place, you go to the right, underline it. Is it 5 or more? Well, yes, it is 5 or more, so this is going to be more. You raise that to 5. You keep this number the same. Anything before it is the same. This goes up and zeros after it. If you have any questions about that or can't remember, I want you to message me and I'll help you with that. All right, guys, have a great day. God bless you.